Probably starting next week, our class, I will not record our class. Okay, this is just a reminder. I will not record our class. So then anything you need to know about the lectures, the detail about the content, so you need to enroll for the class. Okay, even it's online class, because now I decided to do the class online, but I'm not sure whether you already in UMP or some of you still at home, or all of you already in UMP.
At home, Doctor.
At home, okay. Even it's at home, so starting from next week, I will require you to switch on your camera. This week is okay. I just will not forcing for that. For starting next week, our class camera's supposed to be on, switch on. So this is just reminder so that you during the class you're gonna try to find a proper place, and then not really still in driving mode and still doing something else. So I want you to focus in the class, because last semester a lot of failure for this particular separation process subject. Of course, it's maybe mainly because of the final exam already increased to 60% because before that is 40%. Starting from last semester, it's increased to 60%. It's the same with this semester. So you need to score in the final exam. So it's carry a lot of marks. Okay, the carry marks is not so much, it's only 40%, but the bulk of it is basically in the final exam. So I know online class is kind of advantage for those that are doing part-time job, for example. So to me, during the class, you can have your breakfast, no problem. But you need to be there and focus during the class so that we can decrease that failure rate in this particular subject, even though the final exam is 60%. Okay, but if you online, you just switch on your join the class and then you're doing something else, just something like, okay, you just speaker on and you do other things. I cannot see. I do not know what you're doing. So that's why starting next week, you are required to switch on your camera, because at the same time, I will take that attendance. Okay, based on your camera. So your camera, you're going to have your name. So I'm going to take attendance on that, based on that proof. So if you not be there, your camera is switched off, even you join, I consider that you are absent. Okay, this is just a quick reminder for that. If you don't like it, you can go to section 2. Section 2 also going to be in charge, right, for about 7 weeks. So I'm going to apply the same thing. So even if you still don't like it, then you drop the subject, you wait until other lecturer take over. If I'm still teaching separation process, I'm going to apply that if it's still online mode of learning. If it's face-to-face, then I can see you face-to-face. I can, I think starting from April, because it's the government's already announced on endemic. We are already in endemic, so meaning that the daily life routine gonna be back to normal. But new norms mean that you still need to wear the mask and so on. Need to take care of the SOP, but the class is going to be run as usual. Like, for example, the capacity is 60, going to be 60. There's no half, 50% of it. So you need to be ready to come back to UMP. I know that there's 2 years something. You already feel like it's so much heaven sitting at home. But now you need to be ready to come back to UMP. Okay, just bear in mind. So probably if in April the university make a new decision, for example, everyone need to come back, then no matter how, you have to come back, and then you're gonna have face-to-face class. So like traditional way, I will come to class and then teach you and then take attendance, then ask you face-to-face, then see your reaction, whether you understand or not, you are sleeping during the class or not. So it's kind of very excitement and very interesting. All right, I can't wait to at that moment, okay, because the online it's like I do not know whether you understand or not. So when I'm asking normally during the class, you're gonna say, yeah, no problem, no question. But during test or quiz, you cannot do it. So I don't know what's the problem. The problem is you, or probably me. All right. Okay. So without further ado, we're gonna start with our class introduction. So this class is separation process. So please make sure that you are in the right class. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you are section 1 or section 2 because anyway, you're gonna learn the same material. All right. So there are two lecturers that gonna be teaching for this semester for this subject, separation process. Dr. Shalida also gonna teach. She's gonna also involve in the separation. So she's basically in charge section 1. So I'm Zulkifli Jemaat, in charge in section 2, and I'm the coordinator for this subject. All right. So I'm gonna deliver lecture from week 1 until week 7. So they're gonna cover chapter 1 until chapter 3, half of it, and then continue by chapter 3 half until chapter 5 by Dr. Shalida. So they're gonna be like after midterm. No, not after midterm. This one gonna be this semester. The arrangement is a little bit different. Because the semester, this midterm is before midterm is about 8 weeks of lecture. So then I'm gonna give a lecture until week 7. So week 8 before midterm, Dr. Shalida will come in, and then she will continue after midterm break for the subsequent lecture, okay, to finish her lecture. Okay, anything you can, okay, you have here like the email and also the contact number. Even in the Telegram group, you can find the contact number, all right, of me, and also my email there, all right. And the course synopsis. So here we're going to learn about I'm sure that some of you already took unit operation, or some of you are parallelly taking it this semester. So separation process is basically a unit operation. Okay. So it's just that they changed the name, change from, that you learn unit operation and another subject. This one is separation process. Both of them are covering unit operation. Okay, previously, I think like 4 or 5 years back, the name of the course is basically unit operation 1 and unit operation 2. But through the improvement, so they changed the name, all right? But the content is not much change, all right? So in this separation, unit operation that you're going to learn is basically covering on the drawing, adsorption. Fixed bed separation is basically a part of adsorption. Okay, this is one chapter. This is another chapter. So membrane separation going to be the third chapter. Mechanical, physical going to be the fourth unit operation, and lastly, crystallization, the fifth of unit operation. Okay, this is the 5 unit operation that you're going to learn. So we're going to learn about the principle, how it works, okay, and then the problem related, and then the calculation related to that unit operation to do the design, sizing, and so on. Mass balance, energy balance, that related to that. Okay, at the end of this course, it is expected that you, okay, student, will understand the theory. Okay, you need to understand how the drawings happen. Okay, how the adsorption occurs. Okay, what is the mechanism involved? Okay, how in the separation, in the membrane unit operation, for example, membrane separation, how they separate between solute A and solute B. So you need to understand that. Principle, calculation, of course, the design, this problem, okay, and basic design parameter. Basic design parameter, for example, the area required, the size, for that crystallizer, for example. Okay, so this is the course synopsis and the outcome at the end of this semester. Okay, once you finish 14 weeks, okay, 14 weeks, okay, of your lecture, you should be able, okay, the outcome, meaning that you yourself, when I test you, okay, you should be able to explain, discuss, interpret the concept of unit operation, drawing, adsorption, crystallization, membrane, and mechanical physical separation. Meaning, explain, discuss, and interpret the concept is that when I ask you, can you explain to me how this drawing happened, the mechanism of drawing? Okay, can you explain to me how the solid A are being absorbed in adsorptions? Okay, what are material being used for adsorption, for example? So that is the example of question that can be asked, and then you explain it, you elaborate it correctly, meaning that you already achieved that, attain the cost outcome of number one. Okay, number two, you need to be able to analyze problem related to unit operation, meaning that you have problem, calculation, how to solve it, and then you know how to solve it. Approach the question, list down all the information that they give. From there, use any equation that related to solve that problem until you can solve that problem. Okay, not necessarily you need to use only one sole equation, but probably maybe you need to have like equation 1, 2, 3 that interrelated. Finally, you get the final answer that that can solve that problem. And cost outcome 3 is analyze basic design parameter associated with certain unit operation. So this is basic design, for example, what is the size, the area, for example. Okay, how big is your drying tray, for example. So that is basic design parameter. And lastly, you need to be able to find and perform a literature search for technological change in separation equipment. Okay, you need to up to date your knowledge in terms of technological change of the 5 unit operation that we cover in separation process. Okay, this is all the cost outcome. So how I will know that you are be able to have this all the 4? How? Okay, so the only way is, for example, that I give you example for cost outcome 1. I ask you question, right? I ask you, please explain about the drawing. Please explain the mechanism of adsorption, for example. So this is kind of the way that I want to know that you having this or attain this course outcome or not. Okay, so that in this particular course, we design an assessment. Okay, that assessment basically to know that whether you already have this course outcome 1, course outcome 2, course outcome 3, or course outcome 4. Okay, so that's why we have assessment. So the function of this assessment is to evaluate you. Okay, to know that you already able attain the CO1, course outcome 1, or partially attain, fully attain, partially attain, or not at all, zero marks. So that's why we have this assessment. So the assessment is not basically designed to make you fail, to make you to get F. No, assessment is basically a tool to gauge your attainment. Okay, for example, attainment CO1, course outcome 1. Is it you fully understand everything, all the 5? If not, maybe your mark is going to be half. If yes, maybe your mark is 100. Okay, it's not basically to give you F. The one that get F, basically they don't have this. When they come to class, they not understand anything. They cannot solve anything. So that's why they get F or fail. Sorry to say, alright. So the moment that you join the class, to me, in my class, you already have 100%. You already have this one. The moment, because we not evaluate anything yet. CO1, CO2, CO3, and CO4. Okay, you already have 100%. Every one of you is A now, A plus even. Okay, but you the one that determine later on you're gonna maintain A 100%, or you will drop to B, you will drop to C, or you will drop to F. Because through assessment, they will deduct marks. For example, let's say test is 15%. If you get 50%, meaning that your final mark still 100%. But if your test is already get 5%, so I will deduct 10%. So now your final mark less with 90%. So it will reduce more and more as you not score in each of the assessment. It's very simple. All right. So now we have what? We have assessment test. Okay, test, basically the test is to measure your attainment, whether you already reached that CO1, CO2, normally CO1, CO2, or CO3. All right. So I want to delete this one. Erase. All right. So we're gonna have, okay, please bear in mind this is the date's already fixed, it cannot change, and then it's not clash with other subject tests because this is already moderated. All the subject already choose their date. Okay, so ours is gonna be 20th of April, Wednesday night. So I'm gonna put like 8:30 because that already in the fasting month for all Muslim. So we're gonna start a little bit late, maybe 8:30 or 8:45. It depends. All right. So that's gonna take 2 hours for test. So it contribute to 15%. All right. The second one is quiz. Quiz is contribute about 5%. And then the project, okay, this is project is basically group work. Group is 10%. And literature review report, this is individual, is 10%. Final exam is 60%. Okay, so the rest here is about 40%. And final exam is 60%. If you have any question, you can just ask. Okay, during even I try to explain. During my explanation, you can just interrupt me and then ask. I have no problem with that. Okay, clear tak? This assessment.
Doktor?
Yeah,
sorry, untuk quiz tu group ke individual?
Quiz gonna be individual. Individual, right? Quiz gonna be individual, project gonna be group, literature is gonna be individual. So only project gonna be a group. Test, there's no group test. It's gonna be individual. Final exam also gonna be individual. Okay? Ada lagi soalan? Tak ada, clear. Okay, log this date. Alright, please log, and then we wait for that date. Alright, okay, the one normally you're gonna ask me in the test, so what chapter gonna be included? Okay, chapter gonna be included is basically chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 1 gonna be cover topic on absorption, and chapter 2 gonna be cover crystallization. Okay, so please do not ask me again this question because I already explained it here today. Okay, today I already explained it to you. Chapter 1 and chapter 2, absorption and crystallization. How many questions? Each question gonna be 1 question. So it's gonna be like 2 questions, question 1 and question 2. So how many sub? It depends. I don't know. Okay, the main gonna be 2 questions. Each question covering each. Chapter 1, absorption. Chapter 2, crystallization. So for those that text me and ask me again what is the test question gonna chapter cover in test, I will not answer that. Okay, because I already explained it today. That's why it's very important today class, even its introduction. But I'm gonna also touch first chapter later on. Clear tak? Please ask before I move to other slide. kalau ada soalan.
Sir, for how many percent?
Yes. Online. Presentation gonna be online, whereby I'm gonna give the time slot for that. Okay, normally we're gonna conduct it during week 14. Normally it's week 14. If the week 14 is not enough to cover, I'm gonna make a schedule, maybe until you study week. Okay, study week time. But that one, for a group that going to present, they can join it. After you finish, then you can leave the session, no problem. All right. Kalam, and today I also will explain it, go through on that. All right. So after this, I'm going to explain about the project and also literature review, how you want to carry out that task. And then you can ask more questions when I come to that. All right. Okay, the quizzes is basically pop quiz. Pop quiz. It can be conducted any time during the class. So for example, today, if I want to conduct quiz, I can say that, okay, we're going to have quiz about the introduction chapter. Introduction meaning that the slide that I already have here. So I can just conduct it. Okay. So how many quizzes that you're going to have? It can be, minimum is going to be 3 to 4. Minimum is going to be 3 or 4, or can be more. Okay. So meaning that maybe every time you have class, we have quiz. Maybe. Or maybe every 2 weeks times we're going to have quiz. So I don't know. So it depends because it's a pop quiz. Okay, but definitely each chapter going to have like quiz. When we almost finish or we are in the middle of that chapter. So normally you're going to have like quiz either in the middle or at the end. So it depends. But it's going to be pop quiz. Okay, more question?
Doctor?
Yes.
How about number of person in the group?
What about the?
Number of people in the group.
The number of member in the group. That is your question, right?
Yes.
Okay, so later on I will explain. I will touch on that, the group work. All right. So about the assessment. So if everyone clear, I'm gonna move on. Okay, because the rest is like learning material. So this is the textbook you already have with you. So please make sure that you have it because okay, this is I forgot to tell you that the test and final exam going to be open book. Open textbook, sorry. Open textbook. Okay, open textbook only, not open notes. No. Google, no. I hope that by April or May, you are compulsory or midterm. After midterm break, you are compulsory to come back to UMP. So it's going to be like much more easier for me to conduct the final exam. Okay, for test, maybe going to be online. Okay, because we don't, until now, the university not saying anything. Because yesterday, the government just announced about the endemic. But I hope that final exam, you're going to come back to UMP. So that during the final exam, going to be face-to-face. You're going to only have your textbook with you. Because now online final exam, I cannot monitor whether you are Googling or not. It's very difficult. All right. So I know that is advantage for students. They can Google, they can ask their friend, but we hope that it's going to be face to face. So just get ready, okay, to pack your stuff. If university said, okay, everyone to go back, to come back to UMP, or even for final exam. All right. So the textbook that you need to have with you is basically this one because it's open textbook. So here, if you have the previous edition, edition 4, you're gonna have appendix. Okay, for those that having the new version, you probably don't have the appendix, but you have to photo state it. Photo state it and carry it with you. Okay, and then that one is allowed to bring in the final exam or during the test. If, for example, it's face to face. Online, of course, it's gonna be like always with you. Can understand? Quiz is gonna be closed book, of course, but I cannot monitor you whether you open up the book or not. All right. So the project gonna be, you can refer anything. The literature review, of course, you need to refer a lot of source from papers and journal. Okay, the rest of the textbook is gonna be like additional, but this one I will tell you that is good for the design that gonna support you for project later on. Not only this, but you also can find others, because the content that we cover for the 5 chapters is not really until detailing about the design, the equation for design. They have little bit of it, but the detail you need to refer to other textbook. Okay, that one is if later on you need to complete your project design, mini project design. Okay, course outcome. Course outcome is basically after 4 years. After 4 years, you in UMP and you are enrolling for a degree of chemical engineering. So this is your first year. The moment that you join UMP, and when you graduate, okay, when you graduate to become graduate engineer, okay, so you need to have all this, what we call it, program outcome. So why you have to take that subject, this subject, and so on for the whole 4 years? It's basically to give you, one is engineering knowledge. Second one, you need to able to solve problem analysis and solve it. And third one, you need to be able to give a design, to suggest a design or develop a solution. And here in this separation process is covered about the lifelong learning, about recognize on the updating your knowledge about the technological change. Okay, so this is all the 4 PO that cover for the separation process. Of course, you're gonna have like 12 POs. So the others is also covered by other subjects. So that's why it's 4 years program. We designed that you need to take a few subjects. Basically, those subjects will cover certain POs. Okay, even most of the subject we cover this one. Engineering knowledge, they're gonna give you knowledge. And later on, how to solve that. Okay, problem analysis. Alright. Okay, this is the course content planning. Okay, this is do not refer to this because this is the last year's punya planning. So now if you have to refer to this one, okay, this semester. So chapter 1 and 2 this week, and next week I need to finish this absorption and fixed bed separation. Okay, this is chapter 1. Okay, this is what we're gonna cover there. And then week 3 to 4 we're gonna cover about crystallization. Okay, and then 5 to 8, okay, it's excluded the midterm break. It's a drawing, it's chapter 3. And then membrane, chapter 4. Lastly, mechanical physical, chapter 5, 13 to 14. Okay, and sometimes this one is going to finish early at week 13. So week 14 we're going to conduct the presentation. All right. So I think that's all. Okay, tarik diri for those that you want to tarik diri. So then you can do it until week 3. Okay, or week 9 lah. You don't feel comfortable and then you thought that maybe test you not doing well. So you thought that you can do it more than that. You can just drop it, no problem. Okay, and then later the following semester you can take it, or anytime when you feel free and you feel confident, you feel that you can score, then you can take it after that. Okay, no harm. Okay, it's a free country. It's a freedom for you, whatever that you want to do. Okay, even today you can drop it if you want, no problem. If you think that your part-time job is more important than the class, and then you thought that online class, you can just like switch on, and then later on I have recording one, and then you can always refer to that later on. Please do not trust that on yourself, because normally you don't have any time. Normally that you don't have time later on to do revision on that. So the only time that you need to be focused is basically during class hour. Okay, because even I give you recorded one, even during near final exam, you not even have time to open again that video. Trust me, I know. Right? Okay, the class policy is normal: behave, follow all regulation, inform, get approval, please cooperate, cheating. Okay, cheating. Okay, especially cheating. I want to highlight this one. When you want to submit your literature review report, even you want to submit your project, even it's a group work. I know that we have the previous senior report, so we can trace it. Okay, even it's between among, this is section 1, it's the same with section 2. We can just cross check with Dr. Shalida later on. So if we found that it's similar, we will punish you with 0 marks without accepting any excuse, saying, oh, this guy is need. No, both of you gonna get 0 marks. Both groups gonna get 0 marks. And this literature review, okay, project, of course, tendency is also high. Literature review also much more higher, the tendency to get it from your seniors, for example, or you take it directly from internet source, for example. So because in the literature review, you're going to impose the Turnitin report. Okay, from the Turnitin also, you can just exclude a few things, and then the percentage become lower. We know that because I have when you upload it, I have the soft copy there. I can look through what actually that you manipulate about the setting. I know. Okay, even I can download that report, and then I can reprocess in the Turnitin to see the actual one. If you scan, okay, they have a student that scan some material from, I don't know, from internet source and so on, and then they put in the report and then put in Turnitin. Of course, the Turnitin cannot read. Okay, I tell you, the Turnitin cannot read the scan one. You scan, you just put it. But of course, the write up, you're gonna put it in the sentence, right? But there's a student that even the write up, they scan it and then put it there. Of course, when you go through to the Turnitin cannot detect it, and then you get less percentage. But I can access the soft copy. Don't worry, I will know. And then in that case also, I'm gonna punish you. Maximum is half marks. So meaning that if the total mark is 10, so you're gonna get maximum is 5. That is maximum if everything is okay. But I will deduct later on based on, you are complying with that or not. I will much more reduce the marks. And finally, you only get 1 mark. Okay, please, this is a reminder, because I came across with a lot of this kind of cheating, plagiarism method. Even there are students that are sending the same with their friends, and then say that, oh, I'm the one that complete that one, but why you are the one that sending late? So I punish both of them. I give them 0, and finally that student not sending the new one. All right. So this is a very, very strong warning. Yeah, I didn't say. So this is not tolerable. It's going to be 0. So definitely you just drop it and then take it next semester. All right. So we finished with introduction class. So now I gonna brief you on the literature review and also the project. Okay, so this is finished. All right, so I need to close down this one. All right. So then I move that slide.